Hey folks, this is Nick O'Malley here with Kevin Dillon. Once again, we're here to preview Patriots-Bengals this week, and we're going to do it once again with Madden, so you give you something more interesting to look at. I'll be playing the Patriots since I play the home team. Kevin will be playing the Bengals. Kevin, what are you looking forward to in this Madden matchup?
Well, I wish Madden 17 could really accurately portray what it's going to be like in Brady's return to Gillette. I mean, people are going to be real excited. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere to see Tom Brady back in the field again at Gillette Stadium. We saw it a little bit in Cleveland last week, and now we'll see it again here at Gillette. But, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. We saw what Tom Brady could do last week. We saw that it's not really much of a getting used to it period for Brady. He's right back into things, and he's throwing to everyone. So I guess what I'm interested to see is maybe to see if some of the same trends appear from last game in this one. So is Martellus Bennett going to keep on catching 3 touchdowns a game? Is Gronk going to keep on being a guy that can, the guy he has been? And then
Gronk got a Gronk?
Gronk got a Gronk. And then, I mean, is Chris Hogan going to keep being the guy that takes the top off the defense? So,
or take his own head off by flipping over and crashing to the ground.
Yeah, don't do that, Nick. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great game, and I think people sometimes underestimate this Bengals team because they haven't really had much playoff success, but they're a good team.
Really boring.
They're really boring, but they're a good team, and so it'll be interesting to see how the Patriots can handle them.
All right, we're going to flip this around and get this game started. Patriots, and Kevin will be the Bengals, and we're going to try not to get Chris Hogan killed.
That's usually the goal in most things, so let's see here. So I'm kicking off, Nick is receiving, I'm the Bengals, he is the Patriots.
I'm going to try and return this. If you folks have any questions... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that.
That's classic Cyrus Jones.
Classic Cyrus Jones. Although that was Danny Amendola's fault.
But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments. We'll be trying to keep track of everything you guys are letting us know. And if you want to call some plays for the Patriots, you want to let us know what you think they should do, be sure to let us know. So.
It's the first time since we started doing this that I actually get to use Brady for an extended period of time, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, he's not on the Browns anymore. And there's Gronk, Gronk. He catches one and goes, breaking those broken tackles are such a weapon for the Patriots because, you know, you think that you have him covered with one guy, but if he makes that one guy miss, then it's going to be crazy, so.
All right, so we're already getting snack talk about the Trump article that I went up yesterday. That's been a big talking point this week. Tom Brady's Trump comments and then him getting asked about it and people freaking out about it. The Patriots really don't like talking about that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are not one that they usually will be making political statements, and obviously Brady did have the Make America Great Again hat in his locker.
Oh! Brady throws a pick!
Maybe it's because he supports Trump. But you know, I mean, Brady had the hat in his locker a while ago, and so, of course, when all of the lewd comments that Trump made got out, there was an NECN news reporter there that wanted to ask him the question. I'm not sure if he asked it the way I would have asked it, but he asked the question, and it's a story nonetheless. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened that play. That's Brady just being inaccurate in that throw. I thought I had Edelman there. But Brady's been pretty spot on early on. The Patriots have yet to throw an interception this year, which is cool to see, especially since the first 4 games were with Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's a couple really interesting players on the Bengals that are questionable for this game. Tyler Eifert hasn't played yet this season. Was an awesome tight end last year at Notre Dame, scored a bunch of touchdowns, but he's been hobbled with an injury. A.J. Green didn't practice yesterday, although I think I heard he made it back this week, so it'll be interesting to see if they can get out there for the Patriots and do well.
Old friend Brandon LaFell dropping a pass, which is all too fitting considering the way that Patriots felt about him on the way out. He had a rough 2015 season, never really got started. He started on the PUP list, which is where Dion Lewis is this year. Sack. Bump! I swear, if they get me for roughing the passer there, hold it. But, yeah, he was good in the 2014 season. Caught that touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. He was a starter, and then it was butt in 2016. He's been okay so far with the Bengals.
Yeah, he's been playing, I think, the majority of their snaps. He's the number 2 receiver. He does a lot of blocking, and he does a good job of handling things downfield. And so he hasn't necessarily gotten a ton of catches, but he's out there and he's making plays. So.
All right, so I'm just gonna get ready for Kevin's fake. That's surely coming.
No fakes this time, although maybe I should have. Just a beautiful punt.
Oh, that's a great punt.
I don't think I've done that before. But yeah, field position was such a problem for the Patriots in their loss to the Bills. They couldn't get the ball started from outside of their 20-yard line, really. They kept on having it within there, and that was a problem. I wonder if it would be as much of a problem for Tom Brady as it was for injured Jacoby Brissett. But
I mean, if you can't get the offense going, you're not going to get good field position. And there's Chris Hogan, deep threat once again, and I did not get his head taken off.
You're doing everything out there. And, one of the things about the Bengals, they have a really physical defense. I mean, especially their front seven, you got Carlos Dunlap, Geno Atkins, 2 really good defensive linemen that can rush the passer on different sides of the ball. You've got Ray Maluga, middle linebacker. You've got Vontaze Burfict, who these are some guys that they hit and they hit hard. And so the Patriots are going to want to make sure they keep Brady healthy.
And Burfict in particular has a reputation as a guy who, well, Garrett Blunt, breaking away, couldn't get it. He got James Whited inside the 10-yard line.
But yeah, Vontaze Burfict last year, I mean, you remember in the postseason with maybe a few cheap shots there.
He tried to kill Antonio Brown.
That's the end of the first there, but...
All right, the question is, are the Bengals good? They're fine. They have some key pieces, some players that are pretty good, but they only have a few exceptional players. Geno Atkins is tremendously underrated. AJ Green's really good, but they're stuck with guys like Ray Maluga, who isn't great, and that's not the play I thought I called. So the stars are right, AJ Green, Tyler Eifert, but their defense it has some weak points. We were looking at it earlier while we were picking the teams. And
Adam Jones is probably the best corner.
Yeah, the best quarterback. A lot of the guys haven't panned out. And Drake Kirkpatrick's their best corner, and I can only envision Julian Edelman just eating him alive. They're probably going to put Adam Jones on Julian Edelman, which leaves like Chris Hogan and, was it third down?
Yeah.
Chris Hogan and, who's the other receiver? Oh yeah, Danny Amendola on some of their other cornerbacks. The guys that the Bengals have are kind of better at kind of down the field and not as good as defending the quick, short receivers. Oh, I almost screwed that up, but managed to get in.
I mean, the Patriots, they messed up their goal line play last week. They got stopped at the 4th with the Garrett Blunt run, kind of similar to that. So.
Yeah, it was remarkable. As you mentioned, they ran a toss play that got blown up. The toss plays usually work pretty well in Madden.
So Garrett Blunt was the star of that drive, and he's one of those guys that did really well without Brady in the lineup, and then now Brady came back and he did fine. He wasn't horribly. He had a touchdown, but his role was obviously pretty diminished. I guess. How would you see his role changing as Brady kind of gets more and more integrated into the offense?
Well, it's probably good to have his role diminished because he led the league in carries. They were going to run he's not a young guy, and they didn't want to break him down this early in the season. They needed to give the guy a break because he carried the team for the first 4 weeks. So if he was limited to 15, 20 carries for the next few weeks, that'd be good for the Patriots, good for Garrett Blunt because they need him. Because until Dion Lewis comes back, there isn't a guy on this roster that really scares you running between the tackles. And that's Dion Lewis. He's a small guy. Well, Garrett Blunt's the one big back on this team, and if he gets hurt, then or even worn down, not even if it's a particular injury, that's going to be a big blow to the Patriots offense.
And Dion Lewis is an interesting case. He's been walking through the locker room a lot more lately. He's been He doesn't have a brace on his knee. I guess kind of, let's say he's able to come back within 2-3 weeks. I guess kind of, how much of an impact do you think that would make on this offense?
If Dion Lewis comes back, that'd be really good for the Patriots because they don't have a player quite like him. Because James White's good in the open field, but no one is really buying him as a threat to run the ball. Oh, Jeremy Hill breaking out into the open, and this right here, there aren't many players on the Patriots that can bust a run like that.
And I was going to ask you before the half, what are your thoughts on Andy Dalton? Because he's one of those Joe Flacco.
There is not a more meh quarterback in the league. He's a guy.
Would you consider him above league average, at league average?
Absolute average.
Well, he just threw a touchdown right there, so he's proving you otherwise.
You know what? He has Tyler Eifert to throw to. If he doesn't have Tyler Eifert and AJ Green on Sunday, that would be a big problem for what's his team, the Bengals.
So it's 7-7 now. Obviously, Brady, the Brady 2-minute drill is a lot more effective than the Garoppolo or Brissett 2-minute drill.
The Jimmy Garoppolo 2-minute drill, that looked pretty dangerous in the first half against the Dolphins. It's the Brissett one that's a tricky one.
Well, sure, but like I remember there being a few times in the first 4 games that the Patriots, instead of being aggressive with positions like when they maybe could have got down the field a little bit, got a field goal, they just kind of ran the clock down, and they were just trying to get out of the half. I guess
they definitely did that with Brissett, yeah.
Yeah, I guess with Brady back, I mean, you saw last week they scored, 33 points. You could see a lot more 40-point, 45-point games out of the Patriots if they're really pushing the ball like they can do with Brady.
Oh, they're going to push it right now. Brady, no huddle.
And for some reason, Brandon Bolden is out there, split wide.
Yep.
Oh, God. There it is.
Julian Edelman, right down the field.
So I guess that's why you push it.
The way this playbook has the number 2 running back there, and I think the game originally meant Dion Lewis to be out there, but since he's not there, the playbook still has the number 2 running back there, and apparently that's Brandon Bolden this week according to the game. And we got a question a little while back about whether you think the Patriots would, if the game was in Cincy, would you think the Bengals would win? I don't think so. I think the Patriots are pretty strong favorites in this game. There's you definitely got a sense of momentum from this team where they're firing at all cylinders with Brady back. Like they're definitely not playing above their level, but they're playing at. You get the sense that this team is playing at their peak right now with Brady back. It's a shot of energy early in the season, and it's a big benefit. AJ Green, dang, how did he come down with that?
I mean, that's the AJ Green style. Just throw it up to him. He's 6'4", and then just let him make a play because he's awesome. He's a really good receiver.
He is. Bill Belichick had some praise for him earlier this week.
And then again, sometimes he gets
Logan Ryan ain't that bad. He shut down DeAndre Hopkins, or he didn't shut him down, but he had a good game against DeAndre Hopkins earlier in the year, so.
Logan Ryan is going to sign a huge contract with another team.
Yeah, with the Patriots have a ton of contracts coming up, and it's hard to envision him not being the odd man out when it comes to the players that the Patriots sign.
But, last week they only had, after Cyrus Jones got ejected, they only had 3 healthy corners out there. Do you think that they risk only having 4 corners in the active roster again? I mean, that was a little nerve-wracking there. If one of those guys got hurt, somebody...
Well, it's different from if most teams ran that sort of defense. That almost got picked. Vontaze Burfict read the crap... That's Vontaze Burfict in a nutshell. He reads the play well, he plays it well, and then he rips a dude down by the face mask. But I think if the reason the Patriots have fewer corners than most teams is because they believe so much in their safeties, and their safeties can effectively be cornerbacks. Like, if the Patriots are just down on corners, you would just see a lot more Deron Harmon in that third defensive back role, and you'd see, if it came down to it, Devin McCourty playing some cornerback. So it doesn't worry me that much, but... You definitely don't want to see injuries in the defensive backfield, but I think the Patriots are pretty well equipped to deal with it.
And
I almost got you again on that play.
No, that's one thing, is Edelman's way too quick for any of these Bengals cornerbacks.
And Adam Jones is like the quick guy. He's not a big guy. He's not a big cornerback like a Richard Sherman type.
Adam, don't call me Pac-Man. Now, obviously, in a situation like this, you don't want to sit back there.
That's to happen. No, I don't want that to happen. I'm just let the... All right, Carlos Dunlap got me. I'm just going to let the half run out. This first half's going a little long. Does Andy Dalton like to be called the Red Ryder BB gun? Do you remember that little beef he had with J.J. Watt, which was just the worst beef?
Don't call him Red Ryder BB gun. He's not like it. And, I mean, like, poor Andy Dalton. Like, all he's done is lead his team to the playoffs a bunch of years in a row.
And then nothing after that. That's the problem. He leads his team to the playoffs, which is nice. And then once he gets there, the Bengals are like, duh, yeah, we're good. And then they get wrecked by, or they didn't get wrecked by the Steelers, but they blow it against the Steelers.
Now, what are your thoughts on how long Marvin Lewis has been in the league? Because he's been pretty much the Andy Dalton of coaches.
I was just going to say that, man. Yeah, Marvin Lewis is... they have a good coach and a good quarterback, and to win a Super Bowl, you need either one of those to be great. And, man, Marvin Lewis has been around forever, and he's just been doing just enough to not get fired. Because he hasn't really been on the hot seat. The Bengals have been just around for a long time. They haven't been great. They've had some good teams, but no one's really afraid of the Bengals. Like, the Bengals will score a win. Like, oh, we lost to the Bengals. Oh, that's not a terrible loss. Teams lose to the Bengals all the time. There's a reason they win like 9 or 10 games every year. But if you get the Bengals in the playoffs, you kind of pumping your fist like, good, we didn't get the Steelers, we didn't get the Ravens who go nuts in the playoffs. The Bengals are the team that they're a moderate threat, but they don't scare you.
This is confusing, so I'm just going to do this. I don't know if you saw, but AJ Green before the play had literally no one on him. So
yeah, that was weird.
That's something to.
Logan Ryder was there at the end of the play, though.
But yeah, actually, one thing I was going to bring up was that the Bengals have two like really strong running backs. Like I like Jeremy Hill. I like Giovanni Bernard. I think Giovanni Bernard was a guy that was drawing a lot of questions at Media Day yesterday. And I guess what do you expect out of someone that can kind of catch the ball and be effective on the ground and in the air like Bernard? I mean, would you expect maybe a LaShawn McCoy kind of performance out of him?
I can see Giovanni Bernard bothering the hell out of the Patriots defense with that same elusiveness. Now, the Patriots were kind of... I think the LaShawn McCoy incident against the Bills was a little bit of an isolated scenario because of sloppy conditions. They were clearly out of it that day. That was just a bad game overall by the Patriots defense.
Was Hightower in that game?
I believe Hightower that was his first game back, and he like many people in that game, did not play well. But I can see Bernard being that guy in the open field that gives the Patriots some problems, and I think they're a little bit... I'm not sure if Jeremy Hill's a very good running back, and they could present some problems, but he's the kind of back that if the Patriots play kind of sound, that they could kind of keep in check. Not shut down maybe, but they could limit him to a more moderate run game.
We got a comment here asking about Jeff Fisher in regards to our Marvin Lewis comment earlier. I'd say, who would you say is a more league average coach, Jeff Fisher or Marvin Lewis?
I guess Jeff Fisher is more average. It's more of just... Jeff Fisher represents the status quo in the NFL, where you do just enough to not get fired and no one takes risks. He is the eternal 7-9 with the really optimistic playoff appearance.
He is the Kevin Dyson 1 yard short. But one thing I was going to ask about was the Patriots have a lot of guys in an injury report this week. I mean, Martellus Bennett has his ankle injury, and Chris Hogan seems like he's fine, but I mean he looked like he got banged up a little bit last week. I guess kind of Well, with the Patriots getting so many injuries this early in the year, I guess, do you worry at all that the Patriots are gonna maybe like they've shown they have depth at the quarterback position, but at the receiver and skill position players, I mean, they're getting kind of worn down a little bit here early on.
Well, the big thing is that they haven't had to put any of these, not going to put any of these guys in IR. They're getting dinged up, and guys get dinged up all the time. If they can work their way back later in the season, that's fine. The big thing you have to worry about is if you get a ligament tear or something, then you just lose a guy in general. And the Patriots have pretty good depth at the receiver position. They have the 2 tight ends, both guys that can go down the field and block well, which is a great asset to have. And they have a guy like Malcolm Mitchell who's like great depth. They have Danny Amendola who hasn't played as much. And so and those 3 guys can all play similar roles. So if any of those guys goes down, they can sort of just move pieces around. And they have Brady back there, which is going to cover up a lot of damage. Oh my God, why did I throw to Brandon Bolden?
Brandon Bolden's hurt. He is out.
He's dead to me out there.
He's legitimately out because he got hurt last week.
He did, and that'd be funny if this was a thing where the people who do the rosters just don't care enough about Brandon Bolden to take him off the depth chart. And Brandon Bolden get hurt, yeah, no one cares.
Brady taking a big hit there, but there's Martellus Bennett open again. He had 3 touchdowns last week. I mean, just based on the way he kind of carries himself on and off the field, I guess he's very
Black
different.
Unicorn. He's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude, but you don't see that with the Patriots. I guess kind of.
No, they don't go after a lot of weird dudes.
I guess how would you assess for me, he's been one of the most fun players to follow just because of everything.
All the weird stuff he says, yeah.
I guess kind of it's almost like he's Gronk with a little bit maybe less ability on the field, but a lot more personality off the field. Which when you have a lot more personality than Gronkowski,
he has a different personality. He's a creative guy, and he's very not academic, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Intellectual.
Yeah, he's an intellectual sort of guy. So it's a cool personality to have, in that it's very different from what the Patriots have otherwise. And he kind of sticks out because he speaks his mind, and he's not giving out the same canned answers that drive everyone else nuts.
It's interesting, though, because it's not, like, distractible, like, this Distract the Week, Bill's answering questions about something, like, bizarre, getting annoyed type of stuff, though.
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
And his he had his comments about the Bears that came out this week. But I mean that was
he trashed his former quarterback and his team, calling him a bunch of bitches. And can I say that on here? I hope
you just did.
I quoted Martellus Bennett. Blame Martellus Bennett. And no one really cares.
Don't quote anybody else.
But no, I mean the thing is those comments were like during the off season. They were like 3 months ago, and they happened to come up here this week. And so Belichick got asked about it yesterday, and his response was to talk about literally every other position group on the Cincinnati Bengals. He's like, they got good defensive ends, they got good quarterbacks, they got good safeties, they got good running backs, and you know like. That's the kind of distraction that Bill Belichick doesn't like, but I mean, it hasn't seemed like it's been that big of a deal here early on.
And in case you haven't noticed, this drive started like halfway through the third quarter.
Patriots is ticking down the time. Marvin Lewis is playing.
Marvin Lewis, questionable clock management here. Although if I get the first down, and I can just kneel it a bunch of times. Whoa!
Marvin. Look at him. He's hiding behind the camera guy. The Bengals are a team that could they have a pretty good goal line defense, just based on their size and strength.
Not in this formation, though. How many defensive backs you got out there?
I'm confused as to what's happening.
Oh, they stumbled on the play!
They knew exactly what they were doing. Oh, I should have called timeout. Marvin Lewis forgot. 4th and 3. This could be the game.
Ooh. Can Andy Dalton lead the Bengals on a game-winning drive?
Oh.
He's getting dangerously close to blocking that. All right, so we got Andy Dalton for the win. We'll see how this goes. Oh, I shanked it.
Oh,
no!
He's taking it out. Adam Jones.
Here comes Landon Roberts!
Who's
Missing
been,
the tackle!
who's been really good, though.
Yeah.
Landon Roberts has been, like, really exciting because he's been making a whole bunch of tackles.
Yeah, he threw Joe Thomas at a running back.
Joe Thomas is really good.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton, doing the Andy Dalton thing, just throwing to AJ Green.
I'm in the wrong coverage.
He calls the timeout, which is a little confusing.
Icing the offense.
This is probably a little more exciting of a game than I would expect to see on.
What? How did he?
I think that happens
a lot. If that happens a lot, then it's going to be exciting.
Let's see. What are the Bengals going to do? They've got one timeout left, 32 seconds. All they really need is a field goal to tie, but they're going to go for the win.
Oh no! Logan Ryan, one more clutch play.
Jeez, AJ Green looked like he had it, and then that could have been bad news for the Patriots. 27 seconds left. I think Bill Belichick is just sweating right now.
That's not Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick doesn't sweat.
Nerdy Brad Stevens is really worried. Wait, is Brad Stevens nerdy anyway? Do I need to say nerdy Brad Stevens?
Logan Ryan saves the game! You can't keep picking on him.
I mean, I think the Bengals are going to sign him to a big contract.
Yeah, the Bengals are going to sign Logan Ryan. But
someone pounded the door.
But yeah, I mean, the Bengals obviously Andy Dalton not having having an Andy Dalton performance. How about that?
And so, unless the Bengals want to be jerks and keep calling timeouts, they'll do it.
The Bengals are not going to do that.
But this is really indicative of how this is a different sort of Patriots team. They have a good defense. They have a great defensive backfield. They can stop a drive like that when Patriots teams in the past couldn't have.
And that's going to do it. So, yeah, I mean, the Patriots get the win here, even though it was a little risky there, leaving AJ Green having...
you can't give Andy Dalton... Actually, apparently you can give Andy Dalton 47 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So, another Patriots win. I'd expect this one to be maybe a little bit more lopsided than a 3-point win in favor of the Patriots. But, maybe one win over the Browns is not enough to get the Patriots too confident. So...
But one loss to the Bills isn't enough to really knock them off, so this could be a sign of better things to come.
All right, well, thank you everyone for watching. Let's see, are there any more questions? No more questions. So thank you everyone for watching. Let us know if you think this is how the game might turn out. Any suggestions? And thanks for following.
All right, thanks guys. Check back Sunday for more Pats-Bengals coverage.